Welcome to Nonsense Farm. I have always wanted land of my own. As I drive all across the world and I look at land that is just sitting, not doing anything, I'm constantly in this script with myself, like, man, if I had that land, I would do this. If I had that land, I would do that. And I mean agricultural sorts of things, not like I would build an apartment building there, I would build an office building there. I've always wanted land of my own. And my sweet husband, he has had in his mind, we own a couple of rent houses, and he has had in his mind for a number of years that he wanted another rent house. Well, so we've had this discussion for many years, and he came up with the lovely idea that rather than getting another rent house, that he would buy this land, and it would be an investment, and also I could play on it and do all of my strange things. And then later on, someday down the road, our kids could sell it and it would have been an investment. So we found this property. It is 27 minutes from my house, and I'm so grateful that I have a husband that was willing to do that for me, because obviously there's no one on this land paying rent, and so he's just doing it. It just makes me happy. In real life, I get asked a lot, what are my plans for the land? So I have long-term plans and I have short-term plans, and then I have a great big lack of plans. So first off, two things. One is I'm going to move the bees here. When it gets a little bit cooler, so the bees are more dormant, I will move them over here. So I'll have my bees on my own land, which will be great. And then another thing is I am going to plant an orchard on this hill right over here. And the reason that is a priority is because my sweet father-in-law, who passed away a number of years ago, just a couple of years before he died, he said, Kathy, whenever you get to where you're not going to move again, plant an orchard, because it takes a while for things to mature and for it really to become productive. And so make a priority planting an orchard, because he had just done that at his house, and he said he'd wished he'd done it many years prior. And so one of my first priorities here is to plant an orchard. In fact, today I'm going to be putting flags in the ground where I'm going to plant different trees so I can kind of get a sense of what it looks like. And it's going to be a memorial in his name. I'll have a sign up and everything. Sweet, sweet father-in-law. So in order to put an orchard here, that means that I've got to run water. I do have a city water meter here, and the prior owners, all they did was connect to the water meter with PVC pipe, and it just has laid on top of the ground for I don't know how many years. And so obviously it has degraded, and when you turn on the water at the meter, water just sprays everywhere. It's a mess. So I am getting a quote on trenching all the way up here and putting hose bibs ever so often. So anyway, got to get the water put in, then I'll put the orchard in, and move the bees over. So those are my immediate plans. A little longer term, eventually I will put my chickens here. They will stay where they are right now until that land sells, which it is on the market, because it's so convenient having the chickens near my house. And then I will create gardens here. Again, I have a number of gardens in my backyard, but eventually I will have gardens out here. Obviously I have a lot more space. And I want to have a fire pit, I don't know, maybe over there. And I would love to have like a long table with a arbor above it, or one of those structures above it, and twinkly lights. I would just love that. But anyway, and the main thing is I just want to have space that whatever I think of next year or 5 years from now, I have space to do it. I don't have to wonder where I'll do it or ask permission of anyone to do it. That's the main plan that I have for this farm, is being able to just indulge in all the crazy hobbies that I tend to find myself in. There's a metal building over there. I want to turn that into a workshop and a honey house. We can do our honey extraction out here, so we're not doing it in the garage, which will be great. So anyway, just a lot of plans, loose plans and specific plans. When I said that I was going to name this Nonsense Farm, several people said to me, without having spoken to each other, said, oh, well, you should spell it nonsense, N-O-N-C-E-N-T-S, nonsense. No, that is not. This is nonsense, like fun or silliness. And the reason why, well, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and it was a lady that consults with authors, and she said one exercise that she does with them is that she asks them, what are 5 things that you want to be known for? And that's a really interesting exercise. So like, you can do it, what are 5 things you want to be known for personally, like in your whole life? What are 5 things you want to be known for as a parent? What are 5 things you want to be known for at work, etc.? So I sat down and did some brainstorming about what are 5 things that I want Nonsense Farm to be known for. And I narrowed it down to 6, and that's as far down as I could narrow it, because I don't know which of these I'll give up. So I want Nonsense Farm to be a place of beauty. For one thing, isn't it beautiful? I want everything I do here to be beautiful. So a place of beauty. I want it to be a place of fun, as the name might suggest. I do want this to be a very fun place. I want it to be a place of community. I want people to gather here. I like gathering people to connect to each other, and I want this to be a place where that happens. I want it to be a place of learning. There can be some overlap there. People coming together and learning. I want it to be a place of regeneration. Everything we do here will be regenerative, sustainable. I won't use any chemicals. I don't at home, and I won't here. I want it to be a place that is healthy for the planet and for me. And then finally, the reason it can't be Nonsense Farm is that I want this place to be a place of abundance. I want the orchard to be abundant. I want the bees to have abundance. I want this to be a place of abundance. And so that's why it can't be Nonsense Farm. Nonsense Farm. So anyway, welcome to my farm. I hope that you will hit that like button. I hope that you will subscribe. I hope that you'll comment, ask any questions you have about the farm in the comments. And I just hope that you'll come along with me and watch as we have nonsense.